Today we're visiting both Home Depot and Lowe's. The first thing I noticed is in their perennials, they got a lot more coneflower. In fact, all of their perennials are restocked. So let's take a look. Look at these beautiful coneflowers. These are called hot coral. Coneflower, Sombrero, hot coral. And they are early to late summer, 22 to 24 tall, and they're hardy to -30. And these are full sun. Really pretty. It looks like they start out an orange color and then they fade to like this corally pink. They still have lots of this Coral Bells Carnival Watermelon at $10.98 by Vigoro. They are a part sun, but they have them in full sun right here. And they get 10 to 12 inches high, and they're hardy to -30, water 2 to 3 times per week until established. Really beautiful color on these. They're like a, orangey red color. They get a new shipment of this Speedwell First Lady, this Veronica. It's $10.98, and it's the white variety. And these are full sun, and they get 16 to 18 inches tall. They bloom early to late summer, and they are hardy to -30. Some more beautiful coneflower, and these are yellow. So let's see the variety on these. These are called Coneflower Sombrero Lemon Yellow. They're also $10.98 by Vigoro, and they're full sun. And these bloom early to late summer, and they get 24 to 26 inches tall, hardy to -30, and they like well-drained soil. Coneflowers are beautiful. If you watched my most recent video about my top 5 sun-loving perennials, coneflower was #1. They start blooming now in summer and they go through fall. They're just beautiful. Pollinators love them, and I just think they're stunning. They have these really pretty tall spike flowers which look a lot like salvia, but they smell amazing. Salvia has kind of a funny smell, some of them. I feel like it smells like cat urine, but this one is smelling wonderful. It is called Mexican Mint Agastache Little Adder, and it gets 15 to 18 inches high. And it's hardy to -20 and blooms late spring through fall. And so as you deadhead or cut off the spent blooms, you continue to get more blooms. This is another really great pollinator friendly plant with a really nice fragrance. These are $8.98. They're in the Home Depot store containers. They're house brand. This is the first time I've seen this perennial here. This is the Artemisia. And this one is called Silver Mound, and it's really pretty. Let's see how big this one gets. So it is a foliage plant, so there are no blooms. You just grow it for the beautiful silvery, it almost has like a velvet appearance, foliage, and they like part sun or sun. They prefer well-drained soil, and they grow 10 inches. So they're kind of like a little velvety, silvery green color tuft. Really pretty. Let's see how much these containers are. These are $14.98, and they look to be about 2 gallons. Some verbena lollipop, and so this is another really pretty airy purple bloom, and it is very much a prolific self-seeder. So if you put verbena in your garden and you want it to spread, just let it go to seed. Otherwise, you might want to deadhead it and kind of keep an eye on things. But they are really beautiful, and pollinators love them. Late spring to mid-fall for blooming. They get about 24 inches tall, this variety, and they're hardy to 0 degrees. So pretty hardy. And again, full sun. These are also in those larger size containers for $14.98. Here's a close-up of the bloom. They have some Black-Eyed Susan, Goldsturm, and this one blooms early summer to fall. So this is a really great transition plant into fall because it gives you that beautiful golden color that is so reminiscent of, you know, the fall time. And these are prolific bloomers. They also self-seed readily, and before you know it, you'll have them all over your garden. So these get 24 to 30 inches tall, and they're hardy to -40. Another one of the large container plants at $14.98. I came across this really beautiful ornamental grass. This one is called Miscanthus Maiden Grass Cosmopolitan. It is a full sun. It's a variegated grass. These containers are 2 gallon and they are $16.98. I'll show you the foliage on this one. It's stunning. But this is quite a large grass. So this one says it's early to late fall, and it gets 7 to 9 feet. And I don't know if that's height and width, but it just says height. So I would imagine that it's probably a pretty large grass. But look at this foliage. Beautiful. So this would be a very good statement piece. If you have an area that you want a really large plant for some interest, grasses are amazing. They give you a lot of movement and a lot of texture. That's a pretty one. In my store in Massachusetts, in Zone 6B, it looks like they're running a sale on their house brand perrenials that are $8.98 normally at 2 for $10. So you might want to check your store and see if they might be running a similar sale if you're in need of some perennials. Now this is a really beautiful Black-Eyed Susan. This one is called Sonora, and this one gets to be, let's see, this one blooms midsummer to fall, planted in sun or partial sun, water weekly during dry spells, and it grows 12 to 14 inches tall, and you need to space them 18 to 24 inches apart. And they're hardy to zone 3, which is really hardy, so -40 degrees. And look at these blooms. Gorgeous. It has that dark center with a little bit of this maroon color and then the yellow. Really pretty. Look at the size of this cone on this one. So pretty. My Home Depot is also carrying some Nephofia this year, or also known as Red Hot Poker. Let's check these out. So this one is called Red Hot Poker Face. These are really big containers. These are also those $19.98 3-gallon size. And these bloom early to late summer, 34 to 38 inches high, hardiness to -10 degrees. And these are really pretty. And look, they send out lots of blooms. So right there you can see there's still some more coming up, even though some of these are already spent. So you just keep deadheading them and it will prolong the number of blooms that your plant sends up. These are really pretty for vertical interest in your garden. I have a variety called Lucky, which is like a lemony, kind of a yellow lime color. And they are in the middle of their cycle of bloom at the moment. But these are really pretty for that grassy and vertical interest. When they're not in bloom, they just look like a grassy accent, which is also beautiful. And these are perennial. Another really beautiful Rudebeckia. This is another one of those really large containers. You get instant impact. The only thing I don't like about them is the price point. Now you have to pay $20 for this huge container, when these, in a year or two, you could easily divide and get more plants out of, even if you start with a smaller one, because they seed so well. They self-seed so well. This one is called Rudebeckia Smileys, and it's at 3-gallon for $19.98. And there isn't any tags that I could find to give me any specs on them, but they look to be about an 18 to 24 inch height plant. And look at this. They almost look like artificial flowers. You know, the ones you buy at Michael's to make wreaths with or something? They look fake. That's how beautiful they are. Really pretty. If you're looking for some perennial alliums, the ones that grow as a clump of perennials and not bulbs, here you go. They have the size 3 alliums from Proven Winners for $24.98. This is a huge clump. You can easily divide this in anywhere between 3 and 5 plants. Now this is what the blooms look like. They're a beautiful purple pom-pom. And you can tell that these are about to open up. Now, I can't find a tag for them to know what variety they are. I am familiar with them having serendipity, so it's possible that this is Allium serendipity. These are really large clumps, so yeah, you definitely can buy these at $25 and divide them to minimum 3 clumps of plants. Maybe more, because these spread really easily. So you could start with 1, and before you know it, you have 3 clumps, then 6 clumps, and so forth. But these are beautiful, and they actually are part of the onion family. So they have a little bit of an onion scent, similar to like a chive or something. But these are beautiful also in your mid to late summer garden. And something else new that I see they have this week, anemones. Again, something I've never seen here at Home Depot, and it doesn't have the variety. This is in their house brand large container for $19.98. Anemone is another thing that, when happy, will spread very freely if you let them, once they bloom, go to seed. And they are pretty resistant to most animals. I do spray mine to be on the safe side, but some people say that they are resistant to deer and rabbit. Proceed with caution, do your own research, and it all depends how hungry the animals in your garden are. But anemones are a beautiful late summer and early fall bloomer. Just really pretty. Now, these aren't in bloom, so I can't tell you what color they are, but they come in pinks and in white. I have 2. I have pink and white in my garden. But because there is no tag showing the variety, it only says anemone, I can't be sure what color these are going to bloom. But nice and full containers. So again, you can easily divide this in about 3 clumps. At this point, my store looks like they've started to put their Proven Winners hydrangeas on clearance. They have this Let's Dance Ariba, Let's Dance Can Do, which is a mountain type hydrangea. The lace caps, you know, they look a little worse for the wear, but the foliage is still okay. So if you take them home, clean them up, water them, and plant them, they'll be back next year looking beautiful. A monarch butterfly on their butterfly bush here at Home Depot. That's a great sight. I saw an article this week that they are now on the list of extinct. In danger of being extinct, which is so sad. I don't want to get too close because it'll fly away, but it is right there. Beautiful. They have some Rose of Sharon trees in this pretty purple color. Now, Rose of Sharon is another plant that can be invasive. Some of the older varieties are not sterile, which means if the plant drops some seed, you are likely to get a bunch of babies all over the place. And so these are in about a 5-gallon container for $60. Yeah, they're $59.98. But they have really pretty blooms. So the butterfly's gone away, but the Buddleia by Proven Winners is also 50% off now. This is a compact butterfly bush, the pugster. This one is amethyst. I actually have the amethyst and the blue in my garden. Amethyst, pugster amethyst and pugster blue. And these get 2 feet tall and wide, sun, hardy in zones 5 through 9 or to -20. So these are $29.98, and so they would be about $15. And most of them look still to be in really good shape. These will bloom for you until your first hard frost. So even if some of them look a little bit dry, you can see there's a bunch more blooms coming in. Just take it home, clean it up, give it some water, and before you know it, it can look like this. Look at this gorgeous sedum. It's called Stonecrop Frosted Fire. It's variegated, green and yellow. I've never seen this one before. It's beautiful. I don't know what color the blooms are going to be, but according to the picture, it looks like they might be like a either creamy white or like a lemony, limey kind of color. Let's check out the specs on this sedum. So this one blooms late summer to fall It gets 12 to 15 inches high and needs 15 to 18 inches spacing, hardy to -40, and likes well-drained soil. So sedum do not like to be waterlogged, so they like to stay on the drier side once they're established. But this one is stunning. Stonecrop Frosted Fire. Still running 50% off all their roses, so if you're still interested in some roses, they still have plenty to choose from. And they're actually watering, keeping them nice and hydrated. And here in my zone 6 in Massachusetts, these hydrangeas, or hardy hibiscus rather, these hardy hibiscus are getting ready to bloom. Any day now, you're going to see these beautiful foliage shrubs with these massive dinner plate size blooms on them. And this one here is called Summerific Holy Grail. They get 48 to 54 inches tall and wide. And let's see. Yeah, they like sun. Hardy in zones 4 through 9 or to -30. And they bloom midsummer through early fall. There's actually a bloom on one of these, so I'm going to show it to you. But these are size 3 containers for $24.98. The one that I'm looking at, the Holy Grail, has dark foliage, which is absolutely beautiful. I have a Perfect Storm and an Evening Rose in my garden as well that has this dark foliage. But look at the bloom on this. Unreal. Looks like you're in the tropics. All right, let's head over to Home Depot. And actually, we're in Home Depot. Let's head over to Lowe's and see what we can find there. And now we're at Lowe's. So let's see what we can find here. Look at these gorgeous coneflower. The centers or the cones on these are humongous. Beautiful. So these are by Monrovia. And these here are called the Sombrero Lemon Yellow Coneflower. They are full sun perennial. They're $10.98. And it looks like they like 6 hours of direct sun, low watering once established, 18 to 24 inches high by 18 wide, and they bloom summer through fall, hardy to -20 degrees. Beautiful. It is coneflower season, people. They also have these beauties, the Cheyenne Spirit. So the Cheyenne Spirit, if you're not familiar, is multiple blooms in one plant, multiple bloom colors. So you'll get anywhere from this orange to a pink to a yellow. Really pretty. If you want some coneflower variety, this might be the type of coneflower to plant. Here's the tag on this one. It's called Cheyenne Spirit Coneflower, full sun perennial. These are $13.98. It's slightly bigger, this container, than the last one we were looking at $10.98. Extreme cold hardiness, 6+ hours of direct sun, 24 to 36 inches high by 18 to 24 wide, bloom summer through fall, hardy to -20. Cheyenne Spirit. And some more coneflower. These are orange. Let's check out the variety. These are called Sombrero Adobe Orange Coneflower, and they're full sun perennial for $10.98. 24 to 26 inches high, 16 to 18 wide, bloom summer through fall, hardy to -20. Just look at this color. Gorgeous. Some more of that Cayenne Spirit or Cheyenne Spirit, and you can see the different variations in the blooms, from yellow to orange to pink, even red. Really pretty. And I see some more back there that look like some varieties I might have in my garden, so let's go check those out. They have these combo planters that have the Powwow White and Berry in them, and they are $19.98. So it has Powwow White, Powwow Wild Berry. I have the Powwow Wild Berry in my garden, and if you let them self-seed, they spread around beautifully. These are $19.98. There's some more that we'll check out as well. This Coreopsis caught my eye. Look how pretty this is. It's almost like a burgundy in the center with a very light buttery yellow on the outside. Really pretty. Let's check out the variety. So this one here is called Lil Bang Candy Stripe Coreopsis. Let's see the specs on this one. So it's a perennial, full sun. It is $10.98 and it needs about 6 hours of direct sun, 6 to 12 inches high, 8 to 12 wide, hardy to -10. Nice dense foliage. These look nice and healthy. They've been watered. But this is a really pretty Coreopsis. These bloom for a really long time as well, and also really great pollinator friendly plant. Look at all these buttons, all the buds that are getting ready to open. Really pretty. There's a couple more, or new I should say, Proven Winners plants this week. So this one here is called, it's an Agastache or a hyssop, and this one's called Meant to Be Queen Nectarine. It says it's a perennial. I'm guessing that these like very well draining soil. I had it in a bed that tends to retain some moisture, and mine did not return. So here's the specs on this one. They get to be about 30 to 36 inches tall, and they are hardy in zones 5 through 9. And look at the blooms on these. Really pretty. They almost look like a mauve-y pink with this really pretty tangerine orangey color. The hummingbirds love them, and they have this tubular type flower that makes it easier for them to stick their beak into. They have some Proven Winners Ultraviolet it's called Luminary Ultraviolet Phlox. These are $15.98. They're full sun perennial, and they get to be about 32 to 36 inches tall, hardy zones 3 to 8. And they are $15.98. But they are really, really beautiful. They certainly are ultraviolet. They're like a fuchsia pink purple. Here's some of the Lowe's house brand containers of the Powwow Pink Wild Berry Coneflower. They have quite a few of these. Let's check out the tag on them. So these are the Powwow Wild Berry Coneflower. They're $8.98, upright perennial, sun-loving, and they get to be about 15 to 18 high, 12 to 18 wide. I would say that that's pretty accurate. Mine get to be closer to that 18 to 20 inch height, but they seed themselves beautifully in my garden, and I have quite a few that I've been able to, divide out and put in different places and share with friends. But these are a workhorse perennial. Yay for coneflowers. They have this really pretty hot pink phlox called Glamour Girl Phlox for $8.98. It's a summer bloomer. It's hardy to zone 4, 20 to 30 degrees, and it gets to be about 32 inches high and 18 to 24 wide. And phlox is typically full sun. But look at the color on these. Here's another beautiful plant that's very reminiscent of fall with its coloring. This is called Autumn Colors Rudebeckia. It is a spring and summer bloomer. If you like these colors in your garden, the oranges and the yellows and reds, this is a really pretty one. It's $8.98. It is hardy, to zone 5, 10 to -20, 18 to 24 high, 15 to 18 wide. Really pretty. Here's another really cool flower that's reminiscent of, say, a white veronica or speedwell. This one is called an obedient plant, and it blooms about this time of year, summer through fall. So this could be something that you use after your veronica is done blooming. You can have these if you like this type of vertical interest in your garden. And they are a full sun perennial. They're upright. This one's $8.98. This is the Lowe's brand container. They are hardy to -30 or zone 3. They get 12 to 18 high and 12 to 15 wide. And here's what they look like. The flower shape is very similar to, say, a foxglove, where they start blooming from the bottom and they start opening up the stem. And they're also like a tubular shape bloom. I have a couple of new shrubs. Here is the hardy hibiscus, not hardy hibiscus, a rose of Sharon. We were just looking at hardy hibiscus over at Home Depot, so I have that on the brain here. But this is a sugar tip rose of Sharon. This is a beautiful rose of Sharon. It has variegated foliage and this really fluffy light pink bloom. It's seedless, which is key when you're buying Rose of Sharon, so that they don't become invasive in terms of self-seeding. This is a sun shrub. It gets 5 to 6 tall and wide. And it blooms in the summer. And you would prune it in late winter, early spring, so that you don't risk losing blooms. Really beautiful. This one is not in bloom yet, but there's another variety here that is. Let's check that one out. So this one, look how pretty those blooms are. They actually look like little hibiscus. And this one's called Lil Kim, Rose of Sharon. And this one is a sun shrub, hardy zones 5 through 9, and it gets 3 to 4 tall and wide. Look at these blooms. So pretty. Let's see how much this is. So this Little Kim hibiscus is $27.98. It's a 2-gallon container. And this sugar tip Rose of Sharon is also $27.98, 2-gallon. Lots of hosta on the clearance rack, these Monrovia hosta. And so these are $10.98, so we'll go see how much they are. I believe they're going to be around $7. And this variety is called Francis Williams. I actually bought this variety this summer in a smaller container, and it's really pretty. It's like a dark green with a yellow edging. They have the Patriot hosta, which is a really popular one. So this is a good time of year to start scouting out hosta on the clearance racks. Yeah, so that would be $4 for that Monrovia plant that's priced $10.98. I'm sorry, $7. You'd pay $7 for that. But if you're going to pay $7, this container is way bigger, basically double the size, and it's their house brand. And because it is $14.98, this falls into the 50% off category. And so you would pay about $7 for this one. I mean, the varieties are, they vary some from the Monrovia selections to this one. This one is called Wide Brim. Also really pretty. Not too much this week on the shrub front, but they still have a lot of Spirea. This one is the favorite of mine, the double play candy corn Spirea. This one gets to be 1.5 to 2 feet tall and wide. It is sun or part shade, hardy in zones 4 through 7. It's a really nice, compact, dwarf type Spirea. Has little pink blooms that come out in mid to late spring. These are 2 gallons for $27.98. They have some Bobo Hydrangeas. These are my absolute favorite pinnacle hydrangea. The only one I like a little bit more is the Little Lime, but this one is just beautiful. So it likes sun and part shade, hardy in zones 3 through 8, down to -40. It gets 2.5 by 3 feet tall and 3 to 4 feet wide. These are those panicle type hydrangeas, so you can trim them down and they'll still give you blooms every year because they grow on new wood or new branches. Where some of those macrophylla type hydrangeas, or the old-fashioned mop heads, if you prune them too aggressively, you're going to risk your blooms because the buds come out on old wood. But these are absolutely beautiful, and they're just starting to open up. These are 2 gallons for $28.98. Here's some first edition brand type hydrangeas. These are very similar to the little lime, but these are called Little Hottie, and they are also a panicle type hydrangea. They like full sun to part shade, and they are hardy to zone 3. And the size on these is 3 to 5 tall and wide, which is very similar to a little lime hydrangea. Just beautiful, these blooms. In my top 5 perennials, I also named yarrow, and I've had this variety in the past. This one gets a little bit taller and has a tendency to flop, but the foliage color is gorgeous. This one's called Moonshine Arrow. It's $8.98. It's a full sun perennial that blooms in the summer. And with some selective pruning, you will get some additional blooms. And it says that it's hardy to -20 or zone 4. It gets 18 to 24 inches high and 12 to 15 wide. The contrast of the foliage with the bloom is really beautiful. Here's another variety of Proven Winners Phlox. It's $15.98. This one is called Opening Act Pinkadot Phlox. It is a full sun perennial, and it gets about 22 to 26 inches tall. Hardy zones 4 through 8 or down to -30 degrees. And it's a really soft white, but kind of like a lavender really. And these are just nicely tightly budded and haven't yet pushed out a ton of blooms. So this would be a great opportunity to get this planted so that you can enjoy the blooms. They have some quick fire hydrangeas. A couple of years ago I bought one of these on clearance and I absolutely love it. It starts off like this, creamy color, then it transitions to a pink, and then as fall comes around, it starts turning this rosy, almost red, really beautiful. So this is the full size one. They have a little quick fire also that is a dwarf size, but this full size one, look at that picture. Stunning. So it's full sun to part shade, and it's hardy in zones 3 through 8, and it gets 6 to 8 feet tall and wide. So tall and wide, 6 to 8 feet. Absolutely beautiful. And let's see how much these are. So this is a 2-gallon for $28.98. At this point in the season, it is now, we're heading into August, the last week of July. Not many people are buying annuals, but look at this. I've never seen these sold in the stores before, at least not at the box stores. Lysianthus. They look like absolutely gorgeous little rosettes. Look at that. Such beautiful foliage too in that blue green color. These are $7.98, but really pretty annual. I was surprised to find this, and I just thought, how cool. I've never seen one of these blooms in person, and now I can see what the hype is all about. They're stunning. Look at this. If you're having problems with bugs in your garden, you can get this massive jug of neem oil for $34.98. It's by Captain Jack. And it comes with a sprayer. 3 products in one. Controls black spot, powdery mildew, rust, spider mites, aphids, whiteflies, and other insect pests. Man, do I have all of those in my garden. I'm just running out of steam to spray things, so I'm kind of letting them just let nature do its thing. And I don't really need another house plant, but this snake plant is gorgeous. So this is what I'm treating myself with today. And look how beautiful. And they're only $19.98, which is a really good price for this size plant. And they are very low maintenance. They basically don't need anything. Water once in a blue moon. So if you forget, very, very forgiving houseplant. Thanks for hanging out today, and I'll catch you in the next one.